Welcome everyone. We're here at the Mechanics Institute with a very, very special guest. We have Grandmaster Susan Polgar here with us. We also have our General Manager, Judit Sztaray. And we're excited about this event because Susan's going to be doing a brief lecture inside the club, and she's also going to be showcasing her very famous puzzle solving competition. And we have a lot of interest in that. We have a lot of people sign up, and I was trying to do some of the puzzles. I started off really well. It was getting progressively difficult, so we'll see how that goes. But thanks, Susan, for joining us today.
Absolutely, my pleasure to be back.
Very exciting. I was noticing inside the chess club that there are a couple of photos in there in the back where you played a couple of events back in the 90s. Can you tell us a little bit about those events?
Actually, first time I visited in San Francisco was in 1986.
Wow.
And that was my first visit also to the Institute right here. And it's very memorable, of course. It's a historic club. I was very impressed when I first visited, and it's nice to be back after all those years.
Yeah, and you played some strong events like invitationals, right?
And then I was back in 1991 when I played an extremely strong event with former World Champion Mikhail Tal.
Mm-hmm.
So that was definitely one of the highlights of my career. I didn't do that particularly well. I did kind of okay, but nothing special. But just in general, to have the privilege to play with such a legend, along with a number of other famous grandmasters, it was a real treat.
And Grandmaster Patrick Wolf was also one of those players who's now a trustee here.
Absolutely. I vividly remember that visit and our game, and I actually went back and looked at my game with Larry Christensen from that particular event in 1991 that won the Brilliancy Prize of the tournament. So, well, it wasn't a 100% perfect game, but it was in a style of Mikhail Tal.
Good.
And
a lot of action.
It was a nice game.
Very good, very good. One of the things that I've enjoyed about working here is this brick and mortar building, this club that's been here for so long, and just kind of getting a feel of the atmosphere, of just the sense of community here with the players. Tell me a little bit about your experience with like chess clubs, because I really think even in this age of online chess, where online chess is so popular and a lot of things happening online, I think people really, really want to socialize and interact through chess, and people really love like being at a club. Tell me a little bit about your experience with chess clubs.
Well, obviously I have a lot of experience with different chess clubs, starting from when I was a little girl in Budapest. When I started to go to a real chess club, obviously there was no online chess at that time. So I grew up definitely going to chess clubs, and moreover, fast forward, when I moved to New York City shortly after I arrived in New York in the mid-1990s, I have opened my own chess club, actually, that ran in New York City for 13 years.
Wow.
And in fact, I felt that I'm filling a void, because at one point, actually, we were the only full-time chess club that was open 7 days a week, after the Manhattan Chess Club has closed down.
Right.
And so it was really cool. I really enjoyed it. We used to have tournaments, lectures. It was a membership club. It was kind of really nice. And then at one point I left New York, moved to Texas, and then to Missouri later. And because I moved, I closed the club.
Interesting.
And now you're at Webster. Can you tell us a little bit about the team that you're building there, and what's your philosophy when building your college team?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I mentioned, I had my chess club, and then I had the opportunity to start SPICE, the Susan Polgar Institute for Chess Excellence, first at Texas Tech University, where we were at for 5 years, building the program up from scratch. Literally, they barely had a chess set, and they didn't have any recruits, obviously, just some kind of random students who liked to play chess, but none of them were titled players, of course. And so from there on, by the third year of that building from scratch, the SPICE program, Texas Tech, made it to the Final Four of college chess. And we finished third in the nation, while in our fourth year, which was only our second year in Division 1, we already won the national title, which the SPICE program, first twice we won for Texas Tech, following it up by 5 more consecutive wins for Webster University. So at one point in time in 2012, we moved the SPICE program to Webster University, where we found wonderful partners in using chess as a tool to promote the university, obviously, on one hand, giving opportunities to chess players to get scholarships and combine their higher education with their chess advancement. And I'm very proud of the accomplishments of our students. They won almost 60 national or world titles over the years, and which is more than all of the other collegiate chess programs combined. So I'm really proud of their accomplishments. They work hard, and it's a really special program that gives opportunities to the students who want to improve their chess as well as getting an education to do so.
I think you have one of our former mechanics regulars starting, Ezra Chambers.
Yes, he just joined us. He's a freshman, and he did real well in the very recent Spice Cup event that we did.
We kind of miss him a little bit because we're used to him coming on Tuesdays, and he's got his book prepped, ready to go. So now we see his dad and his other son. They still come, so that's nice. Great. But yeah, I'm glad he's doing well over there.
And the 2 other ways you recruit students is you recruit students from foreign countries, right? Hungary, for example, we can notice you have a lot of Hungarian grandmasters joining your program, right?
Yeah, we really don't really discriminate or prefer one country honestly over another. Of course, I'm happy when some Hungarian students also join us, but really we had students from dozens of different countries over the 13 years now of SPICE. We had students from Israel to Iran, from Russia to Ukraine, from Germany to
it's wonderful.
All over the place. So it's really international, and that's one of the things I really love about the SPICE program and in chess in general, that it's so diverse and so international. It's really like we feel like the United Nations.
And the other way you recruit students is you give out scholarships, right, to several tournaments.
Right. We're very fortunate that Webster University supports chess and SPICE in giving scholarships, some through our events like the Susan Polgar Foundation Girls Invitational or National Open, World Open events, and some others that we do. So that's one way to earn a scholarship to Webster and the SPICE program, but we also recruit some higher rated players, and actually all kinds of level players, but they obviously will be candidates for various levels of scholarships.
And with regards to your team, I mean, this is serious business when you go to compete. There's a regimented schedule and expectations of what the team needs to do. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. We take it quite seriously, and just like in any other collegiate sports, whether it's football or basketball or baseball, when there are regular trainings and expectations, and so we have similar kind of regiments and regular trainings, and it's really, I think it's all in the approach, and one of the kind of secrets of our success over the years has been that in the approach on how we prepare for the challenges, for the competitions, just taking a professional approach to it, which in many cases lacks, especially in chess, I think it's really important that we have discipline in the program and expectations. We treat our students practically as family members, but with that said, we expect them to give their best we can never know whether that their best on that particular week or weekend will be sufficient for our team of winning, but we always expect them to do their best. And, just to give some small examples, like during competition, we expect them to go to bed and sleep timely instead of watching movies or have a drink or something like that, right? So, and that's just a basic example, of course. So it's really, I think everything comes down to the approach, both in preparation as well as during competition.
So the members already know that what they do has an impact on the rest of the team, so that
exactly.
they hold
and
each other accountable.
Absolutely. It's like teamwork, absolutely. It's like a family, because in college chess, the teams consist of 4 players, so even if one or two does really bad, it can ruin whatever else the rest of the team is doing.
Right.
So if the viewers would like to check out some of the scenes, I know that you post regularly on Facebook about your training and little pictures and videos. It's really fun to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. You can follow me on Twitter or Facebook, or go to chessdailynews.com, where we have regular updates about the SPICE program, as well as giving tips for chess players of all levels on how to improve.
And tell us a little bit about your book series, which I know is very popular and it's gone through several phases and steps, and it's really for the kids because you do so much for the kids. And tell us about your books.
Yeah, I'm really proud of my latest book series called Learn Chess the Right Way, and it's really means what the title says. It's the summary of my conclusions on how I feel it's best to teach beginners, especially. It's very methodical, and it separates the chapters by very thoughtful ways of building on one piece, moving on to the next piece, and so on, and then different tactical themes in the more advanced volumes of the series. And I think it's just a must have for any young or beginner chess player who would like to get better at chess, especially when it comes to tactics.
One of the things I love about your series is that you have, checkmates and you have tactics, but then there was one on defensive technique, which was pretty unique, because that's something you don't really see too much of, especially in terms of teaching kids.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things a lot of chess teachers forget, that yes, it's great that you can see how to win maybe when an opportunity comes around, but it's just as important to prevent your opponent's similar threats. And there really haven't been enough material, I think, on that subject. So that's why book 3 in the series is trying to fill that void.
Excellent.
And one of the questions I wanted to ask you, tell us a little bit about the chess festival that I know Judit is doing back in Budapest, and it's growing to be a international event. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Absolutely. I was just back there a couple of weeks ago in Budapest, and I was really proud of the event that Judit is the main organizer of. It's her baby. And it was held in the National Gallery, which is quite a stunning venue to start with, and it's very prestigious. It's literally next door to where the number 1 person of the country is sitting, right? So it's really like unbelievable. Like imagine next to the White House, the building next to the White House, with the host a celebration of chess, a global celebration. And there were simultaneous exhibitions. There were all kind of activities connecting chess with education and arts and different things. And just the venue itself, it's a museum. So can you imagine that the paintings are all over the place, and people can literally at the same time be in a museum and connect with chess in a very interactive way. And this year included also a conference where I presented as well. as well as other famous, very famous guests, such as Ken Rogov, for example. And it was really impressive, I would say. And even the new FIDE president, Arkady Dvorkovich, attended the event to take notes, as well as the FIDE deputy president, Bashar Quatli from France came. So there were guests from, I think, dozens of countries, VIP guests, but also just regular chess fans who wanted to see what it's all about. They just fly in for the weekend and check it all out, because it really grew from initially kind of the event started out as the Polgar sisters simultaneous 100-board simultaneous event many years ago, and then it evolved to be this global chess festival, which has a little different focus in addition to some simuls. It really went to a lot of different directions, connecting education and art and science and everything to the sport itself.
Yeah, I really hope next year we can connect and have a remote location here.
Definitely.
Satellite location.
Right, that would be a great idea.
Really absolutely, you should do it. This year it was coinciding with the National Chess Day in the US, and I think it will in the future too, so actually it will be perfect.
Same way. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And congratulations to the election to the Hall of Fame.
Thank you so much.
Very exciting, very exciting. Thank you very much for joining us and sitting with us.
My pleasure.
Grandmaster Susan Polgar. She's about to give a lecture and a puzzle competition. And you'll be able to check out this video on our YouTube channel, Mechanics Chess. And thank you for joining us. And thank you, Susan, for joining us.
My pleasure.
All right.